This is one that has an undefeated team going in to a hostile environment in the late night slot, or at least the evening slot. I'm going to take USC at Utah. So Utah is actually a favorite in this game. USC comes in undefeated. They're playing really well for the most part. Their defense has looked a little bit better in recent weeks. The offense maybe hasn't been quite as good as we thought. The last time USC had to go on the road, by the way, it was not pretty. They probably could have lost that game at Oregon State had Oregon State's quarterback, was it Nolan or the other kid? I don't know. I think it was Nolan at that point. He threw 4 picks. I don't think Cam Rising's going to throw 4 picks, but I'm also very skeptical about this Utah defense. I mean, DTR ripped him. They made Anthony Richardson look like a somewhat competent passer, which is sort of a demerit in 2022. They really have, like, they've played Oregon State, which can't throw the ball. I'm curious if they can play a little bit better defense here, because I do think they can score some on USC, but they also haven't been real explosive on offense recently. It's kind of a plodding Utah offense and a defense that's not as good. I'm curious why they're favored by that much. Maybe I'm walking into a trap here, but if USC wins this, they're very live for the playoff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a very interesting game because, Utah, like we discussed, much better at home. So this is going to be a very interesting environment for this USC offense, probably the toughest place they've played so far. And also, like, if you go through his game log, like, Caleb Williams has been pretty mediocre 2 of the last 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a tough place on the road to play against a defense that presents lots of problems, who did not really present many to DTR last week. But I don't know. This is going to be a tricky spot. This is going to be a very fun game. I really don't know what to expect. Like, I can tell you right now, I'm probably not going to be locking any of these things up tomorrow, but I'm really interested in just kind of settling in and watching this one Saturday night.
Don't you think before the season, if you would have gone through USC's schedule, you could have said, sure, best case scenario, they're 6-0. Like, that would have been shocking. But now's when the fun starts. Like, now's when you find out who's for real and who's not. Now, there's an advantage in starting 6-0, belief, confidence, guys buying in, that type of thing. Like, there's no panic. There's no, do we make, like, the issues that Oklahoma's going through right now. So you got to feel good about that. But I think this is their first big challenge. I don't think it's even close. And I do think Utah's loss to UCLA was more about UCLA being a really good team than it was about Utah falling short of expectations. So, and you're right, playing at Rice Eccles at altitude, place is going to be wild, a little bit more of a desperate situation for Utah. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game.